Dawn here, 9 minutes late because of my inability to understand technology. So I guess I have to be looking up here. I'm really pale and flustered. Too polite was doing nothing for me. It usually does when I'm on Zoom, but I'm doing Facebook Live. If you want to find out more about the Tarot 101 class that I'm offering, which starts on November the 14th, 2017, would you please check out astrologerdawn.com and you'll find out all about the Tarot 101 class. So today, I'm going to be doing this every day until the class starts. I'm going to talk about different cards or how astrology and tarot are joined together, or how tarot and numerology are joined together, because there's a lot of different metaphysical abilities, I guess that would be the thing you can call what I'm talking about, that different people have. So, some people like runes, some people like numerology, some people like astrology, some people like human design. And I'm looking for the other card because I couldn't find it, and I know it's in the deck. I actually wanted to show you guys the cards that I am talking about. So let me start talking about it before I find it. Okay, so the death card. A lot of people, this is really funny. Usually, if you are watching something on TV and you're watching something that has a psychic in it, more often than not, and I just go, wait for it. Turn over the death card. So turning over the death card is, it doesn't always mean death, but of course, whenever you see it in one of these shows, it means death. It usually means somebody's been killed. I've noticed it on 2 murder mystery shows now, so I'm like, okay, death card, I need to talk about that. But the death card, I'm going to have to drink some. The death card looks different in different decks, of course. I'm going to be talking about this a lot more in depth, in my class, but I want to talk about it today. So here are 2 examples of 2 death cards. So this is the death card from the Toth deck. This is the death card from the Robin Wood deck. So I use 2 different decks when I'm reading. And I use them 2 different ways as well. But this is the death card in each of them. As you can see, they do look quite different. They also have, I think they don't have different numbers on them, do they? No, X111. No, the same number. So they're in the same place in the deck. The difference is, it's just a different artist. It really is what it is. It's different interpretations, This one, it's kind of scary in a lot of ways. I mean, it's all bones and, it really does look like death. It's all black and nasty looking. And then this is what you'd really think, the Grim Reaper, showing you the way type thing. Again, this is not always about death. In fact, it's mostly not about death. Now, the death card is part of the major arcana. So there are 22 major arcana. And the 22 major arcana go from the Fool all the way through to, it depends. It could be the World card, the Universe card, depending on what the deck is. But it goes all the way through. It's a journey that the Fool takes. So at some point in that journey, death occurs. Death doesn't occur to the Fool who's taking the journey. It's a death of a way of being, a death of a belief system that you may have had. It can be the death of a relationship, if you're getting divorced, if you're separating, or you're walking away from your partner. It is most definitely the death card. So it's rarely actual death of a person. However, when it is about death of a person, and you are pulling cards, you'd need to pull more than just the death card. So you'd have to pull some more cards afterwards. The more people cards you get, so the more page, princess, queen, king, any of those cards that you might get that are surrounding the death card, it's more likely it's the death of the person. However, here's another thing. The majority of times that I've done a reading when the death card has come up around a person, my client won't have told me about that person at this point. But I will say, oh, do you have somebody in your family who's been sick, or somebody you're concerned about in terms of their welfare or their health? Because I need to find out that they do, or it's going to come as a real shock. And then a lot of times people say my grandma, my Aunt Lucy, you know, all other kinds of things. Look at this. I've had my phone ringing. I've had my other phone ringing. I just need to turn everything off. It's very annoying. So, keep forgetting to turn everything off. I'm not used to all of this. So anyway, back to the death card. So you've got to have a lot of people around it when you get the death card. Otherwise, you really have to look at, if you're using it on a daily basis and you pull out the death card for that day, it's a good opportunity for you to say, what do I need to let go of? Is there something that I really need to let go of? Is there something that I really need to say goodbye to? Is there a person, a place, a thing, a situation? It can be, sometimes if you go for job interviews and you pull the death card, probably not going to get the job. You know, if you, however, if you're sitting at your old desk at your current job and you ask the question, does it look like am I going to stay here? Or what are my chances of staying here? And you pull the death card, then there's a good chance that you're leaving. So it depends on where you ask the question, when you ask the question, the type of question that you ask, and you've got to be centered as well. You can't just come rushing in, you know, do that, because you've got to be focused on your questions. So death cards, two different, like I said. So this is the death card from the Robin Wood, and really what you're doing is you're really looking for cards that you love. They've got to speak to you. There's got to be something about the cards. So I didn't pick them by the deck. I didn't pick them by the death card. You know, this is the Robin Wood deck. And, you know, there's things about this deck that, oh, there's the full card, Making the Journey. There's some things about the Robin Wood deck. And I think a lot of it is the pentacles, because of the greenery. So even though it's called Robin Wood, I always think of Robin Hood. So this is the Ace of Pentacles, which I'll be talking about on another day. This is a beginning, a new beginning. And this is can be a financial card, money card. But I like the greenery. So I'm in the process of looking at designing my own deck. And I definitely want it to be based on, you know, the England that I remember. Let's put it that way. So I think there's something about that particular deck. I also like the wands in it. They're very bright. You know, they're very bright, and I like that. They're very uplifting. And I think that's, you know, I like uplifting things. I always want to look positive, even when there are some negative things that might happen. The other deck, and the Robin Wood deck, you know, when you're looking for a deck, you really need to make sure that it speaks to you. Make sure that, I don't know, there's something you feel something for it inside. You don't have to touch it. You know, I bought both of these decks, came from online, and when I very first had them, I didn't have them in person. I saw them online, and I went, ooh, I like those. And that's how I ended up with these two decks. And, you know, when you get a deck, if you don't have a deck, it comes with a little book usually, or you can buy a book. So this is actually the Robin Wood book by Robin Wood, of course, she's a woman, who created this deck. But that's not actually my favorite book, which is her own explanations. This is my favorite book, which has to do with the Robin Wood deck. Tarot, Plain and Simple by Anthony Lewis. And, you know, he explains all the cards in there as just, actually, I think it's weird to say better than she does, because, you know, this is her writing, of course, but these are her cards. But, you know, we all decide the meanings of the cards for ourselves, ultimately. It doesn't mean they're all different. If I say it's the Ace of Pentacles, you say, oh, that's not a new job, that's a new baby. You know, it's not like that. You know, there are most of the projects actually that mean exactly what they mean in a variety of books, but you can look at cards different ways. So this is, you know, the tough deck is different, very different. It's what I call the heavy deck. For some reason, it feels heavier, like you're dealing with deeper, more internal working on yourself. That's usually what I use it for. Or when I'm on the radio, I use these if you've got a question about your personal life, and I use these if you've got a question about your career. The other difference is, and you can choose to do this, and I'm going to talk much more about it in the live in the live 5-week Tarot 101 that I'm doing. You know, you can really fall in love with the deck and only stick with it for the longest time. You might behind me see them not very clearly, but those. That was my very first deck. That's called the Mythic Tarot. Oh, another thing is make sure you comment if you want to be eligible. I think Amika just is telling you all that, but make sure that if you want a 3-card reading, which I'm going to do in about less than 4 minutes, then comment. So everybody who's commented, thank you very much. More comments, more chances. I'm going to pick your name because that's the one I'm going to see most. The other thing is that in the class, we are going to be discussing the whole thing about whether you read these upright or whether you read these reversed. And I read these upright and reversed, which is and I read these only upright. So you have to learn, you know, you're talking about learning another complete deck. That's really, because when you've got them one way, they mean one thing, and when you've got them another, the other way. So it's like learning double the cards. The good news is, of course, when they're direct, it's the same. So, you know, the death card. When you pull this, what is it that you need to change? Because it can also be telling you about something that's coming up that's going to shock you, that's going to make a big change. So one of my clients, marriage going along quite well, you know, really marriage going along quite well. And for some reason, I didn't think that was the case. I kept getting the death card, and I'm like, but nobody's dying. I said, so it must be a change, a big change. And she had the Tower card and the Chariot card, and these are major arcana, so these are big changes that happen. And I think 3 weeks later, she called me back and said, the death of my marriage. And I'm like, oh, wow. She goes, yeah, I came home and told my husband some things about what you said, and he suddenly announced that he was leaving. I'm like, wow, that death card showed up quickly. So that can be the sudden death of that. You know, when it is an actual death, usually there are other, you know, there are other things that go along with it. There are other cards that go along with it. There's other indications. Anyway, I want to take some questions. So, Dawn, is it reasonable to create a personalized deck by taking cards from different decks? Oh, given they are the same size, I don't see any reason, as long as you're not trying to sell it. I mean, you're only using it for personal. So to me, if there is something, you know, if there are decks that you like, different cards from different decks, then sure. You know, you're the one that knows what they mean. So yeah, intersperse them. Absolutely intersperse them together. Because that's going to, if it's going to make you feel, you know, comfortable, I mean, that's something I can't do with this deck, because the top deck is fatter and smaller. So I just can't be able to do that with that. But I would do that. I'm wondering how many decks you're looking at doing that with. If it's just a couple of decks, or sort of taking one card from lots and lots of different decks, you know. So, you know, I would love to hear about anybody's experience, if they've had a reading, whether it's with me or somebody else, when the death card has come up, because sometimes, you know, sharing that information can really be helpful. What I'm going to do, because I don't want to keep you guys too long, I just wanted to do this, and I'll be much more organized next time. Now I know I can do it on my computer, but I don't like it live. It doesn't like me very well. I'm an ex-actress. This is not good writing. Anyway, Kelly, do you have a question, Kelly? I'm going to answer Melissa's question. If Kelly, who says, thanks for doing this, do you have a question that you'd like answered right now? Because I am going to give you an answer. If you do. If you don't, that's okay too. I will move on to somebody else. So Melissa, let me just answer yours. Have you been able to correlate the tree of life with the Thoth deck? It's not something I've done yet. No, me neither. You know, the deck is so deep You know, this is a book I absolutely recommend, Mirror of the Soul, if you are going to get the 12th deck, because it is quite deep, and this can help you lighten it up a little bit. When I think of the Tree of Life, I tend to think of human design rather than the tarot card, but I think I am going to investigate that. You know, I'm going to investigate that, because that's a really good question. No, I haven't done it with cards, but I'm always interested in doing something new. Hello, Sherry Knowles. I see that you joined me. Probably wondering if I disappeared off the planet. No, I'm here. Okay, so Kelly did not have a question. So Dawn Myers, are you still here? Dawn Myers Dixon, if you have a question, I would be happy to answer your question. So if I see you writing one, I will be answering it. If you are not here, I shall move on to Melissa. Melissa, do you have a question that you would like answered? Dawn, you're here. Great. So, question. What is your question for the 3 cards? Is it personal or is it professional? I'm just waiting. Okay. I do. I am and I do. Ooh, good. Very precise. I like that, Dawn. You're very precise. So I'm going to wait for your question, but I'm going to focus on Dawn's name. Will my house in Mexico be a good thing for me? This is actually, and so because this is not radio for me. This is potential client, somebody who's been a client, you know, subscriber, whatever it is. It's a different level type thing. So I will be using the 12th deck for that, because it is a big one, you know. Catherine, oh, that's a good question, Catherine. I'll come back to that. Just what is up? Where do I need to focus my energy? Okay. Will my house in Mexico be a good thing? So, you know, I mean, I'm going to do this in the air. So, of course, I do this first, and I'm thinking of you. But I can't do this in mid-air, which is, I shuffle the cards like this as well. But I can't do it in mid-air. I don't have the surface to do it. Okay. This is about your house in Mexico. Will my house in Mexico be a good thing for me? Okay, let's see, 3 cards. You've got the Princess of Cups, you've got the Moon, and you've got the Truce card. So to me, this is a place to go to relax. This is a place to regenerate, recharge. The Moon card represents your emotions, your emotional needs. So I would say, and the Princess of Cups, you know, this can be you not taking on so much, finding a way to emotionally take care of yourself. The truce might come, an internal truce, or the truce might be between you and somebody else. Maybe somebody doesn't think it's a good thing, and they're not really happy with it. It is going to be a truce over this. You're going to say, I'm going to agree to disagree, I'm not going to argue. And if it's not involved with somebody else, then this truce card can be that kind. So, you know, I think that, yes, it's a good thing. That would be my short response. Let me answer Catherine's question. How do you integrate the astrological significance with each card? How do I integrate? Okay, well, it depends on the decks. So some decks, let me just look at this one. I don't know which one it is. I don't think it's this one. I don't think it's the Robin Wood. Some decks have astrological symbols on them as well. Oh yeah, I can't see them. You can barely see them. Oh, good, Dawn. That's how you use it. That's how I love to use it. I love to use it to generate. Yes, do that. Hey, I'll be coming to visit. Sounds like a great place to be. So in these cards, and you cannot see them unless you've got the cards because they're so small. Although sometimes, most of the times, the astrological signs in this so small, you have to really, you know, differentiate it. So let's just use this card because this is the Moon, and it's ruled by, it looks like Pisces. Looks like it's a Pisces card. Yeah, a Pisces card, and it's, well, you know, here's the thing. How do you integrate the astrological significance of each card? Well, for me, this is the Moon. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned in astrology, the Moon is the most important card in the deck. this is about Pisces. So I always look and see, when I get the moon card, I look into somebody's chart to see if they've got if they've got Pisces. You know, sometimes you don't have any planets that are in Pisces, but you have a house that's in Pisces, or it's integrated, you know, into another one. But Pisces is somewhere in your chart. So if there's an emotional piece going on, and I'm answering a question about an emotional piece, usually I look and see where Pisces is sitting, what house it's sitting in. So if this card shows up and I'm looking at somebody's chart, I'm going to be, oh good, this is just today's current session. That's what it's got writing. It's got writing because I was on the Cayman Islands this morning. So this is my chart from, as you see, 5:43 a.m. So what I would do in this particular chart, if this card came up, I would be looking Pisces. Pisces is in the 6th house. So somebody might be having an issue around work. Somebody might be having, and the issue might be they're doing too much work and not being paid for it. So, you know, there's definitely a great way to integrate it. And it's a good question. You know, the other thing, Catherine, that I do is sometimes I do what's called an astrological spread. So you can do that too. And all that, and that is I still shuffle the cards. Sometimes I'm doing it for a person, and sometimes I'm doing it for myself. And you just lay 12 cards in a circle, and each card that shows up represents a house in astrology. And of course, different houses in astrology give us different information about things that mean to us. So the 2nd house, money, what we value. 3rd house, communication. 4th house, home and family. So whatever card is sitting in the 4th house, you know, so for example, I'm just going to cover the deck. Let's say for Perfect Dawn, this was the one that was sitting in the 4th house. You just asked me about that house in Mexico. Guess what do you think this means? The Sun card means, yeah. So it would be in the 4th. This is the 4th house, and this is the card that's sitting on the 4th house. So there is that way to do it too. I must be just so populist. I just don't understand how my phone is ringing. Let's keep it off the hook. Somehow it got set back on the hook as well. Anyway, so the death card today, you know, want to remind you that I'm doing a Tarot 101. It's 5 weeks. Starts November the 14th, 6 p.m. for an hour and 15 minutes. It'll be a webinar. Except I won't look so pale. I'm so unkempt. Used to looking at this. And we will be covering every aspect that you need to know in order to read cards for yourself. So this sort of sounds like, oh, you don't want my business, Dawn? That's not how it works. Teaching you to do something for yourself is going to help you grow. And that's always going to be my overall desire for you, is to grow. So yeah, I hope you don't have to come to me for tarot readings. You'll probably have to come to me for astrology, human design, coaching, and the rest of it. That's okay. I want people to know how to read their own cards. Having done it for nearly 50 years, being able to read cards, I'm going to be, I'm 50, I think I'm 58, yeah, and I was 10. So yeah, so it's been a long time. It's time that I taught it again. You can check out astrologerdawn.com. There's more information about the upcoming Tarot 101. If you're watching this anytime after November or December 2017, then you're going to need to check out astrologerdawn.com for the upcoming next set of classes. This is going to be sent out to everybody who's on my list, and also whoever else I need for my assistance. So I will be back tomorrow, same time, since I'll be more organized, and there'll be a different topic. Yes, I have, Catherine. Have you considered designing your own deck? I just sent an email to somebody who asked me what would be my ideal and to tell me about the cards, and I just did that. So Catherine Young is on here, and of course she's a medium and she's a psychic. So the fact that she answered that question when she probably already knew. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow at the same time, different subject. What I'm actually going to do tomorrow is I'm going to do some astrology, some tarot. So, and somebody else will get a question asked, so please show up. So tomorrow it's going to be about Pluto, Capricorn, transformation, government, big business, women, and astrologically, that's an astrological piece. How do the cards fit into that? How can you use the cards to really help you with your own transformation? So that's going to be tomorrow's topic. Don't know how long it'll be, but I will be a lot more organized, and I will be looking forward. So thank you for all attending. Please tell everybody about this series that I'm doing, the free series that I'm doing. So I'm going to do it every day from now. And and there's a discount. The course is for 5 weeks. The course is normally $199. That's 5 weeks. That's 6.25 hours of my time learning, coaching you, because there's going to be pieces in there that you're going to need help with. There is a discount, a $20 discount if you pay for it prior to, I think it's Saturday night, Friday night, Saturday night. I don't know. It says it anyway in the email that I sent out. I just don't remember. You get a $20 discount, so make sure you use the coupon code. And still, even if you pay $199, I think that's a really good deal for 5 weeks in a row, where you come out with a very good, solid understanding, not only of the cards that really speak to you, but also what else you need to do, what else you need to learn. So I will see you tomorrow. And I'd love to leave with my favorite poem, so that you can all have something to think about, by Edward Teller. When you come to the end of all the light you know, and it's time to step into the darkness of the unknown, faith is knowing that one of two things shall happen. Either you'll be given something solid to stand on, or you'll be taught how to fly.